Right now we are looking at how to make banners. Now there's a ton of different ways to do this successfully. I'm just going to show you a really small handful of different ways to create banners. Biggest thing is making sure you are creating that depth, and we are going to add just a little bit of value at the very end. Okay, so this is just going to be a few different examples. You don't have to use these, but these are just really easy ones that you can pull from for ideas. Okay, so that's our first one, just very basic, kind of like my title one that I did in blue. Second time around, we got a rectangle and another rectangle, very similar in size, and we're creating that depth. So these ones are going to be behind. Try to get those angles to be as similar as possible. So that's about a 45-degree angle when you're working with it. Next up, let's do a wiggly one. Depending on the type of ribbon you're doing, oftentimes you want them to be relatively symmetrical. That's not always, but for some of the cases you do. What you do on one side tends to look good if you do it on the other. And make sure to include that depth, so that little itty bitty line that showcases that it is folding. All right. And again here, slightly wiggly. This one's going to be kind of similar to the ribbons video if you did the ribbons in colored pencil, if you ever checked out that video. But this time it's like an old school parchment that's curving. And if you do have your ribbons or your banners curve, having a really solid curvature line, drawing those lines with confidence is very important, as opposed to having scratchy or hesitant lines. Confidence in all things. And then you're just replicating the initial line that you drew. You can see where I added on that edge of the banners. Those edges are not perfect. But I can always go in and edit if I had done it in pencil. Since it is in pen, I can't, but learn from my mistakes. All right, next one. Rectangle is starting off. And you're gonna draw that 45-degree angle and then straight up vertical. This is very similar to the first one, except for it's not gonna have those edges on the side. And instead of having it the exact same, this one's gonna wrap up, similar to the second one we saw. Kind of like the spool we did a little bit higher above, again similar to the colored pencil ribbons, except unraveling. Just very basic curvature line, 2 straight lines down on the very edging, replicating that initial curved line, and straight in and around on both sides. I think this is going to be our last one because I'm kind of getting cut off here on my video. I zoomed in too much. But old school parchment, except instead of horizontal, we're doing a vertical one. So I'm just having it flip up. And then let's add some value. I'm going to speed this up since I'm just filling in those background areas on each one. And that's going to help create that illusion of depth. And then when you add in your words, whatever it is that you're trying to showcase, it will pop out, which is the whole point of banners. You want things to stand out. Your turn.